up, everybody? Welcome to the final episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. What is going up, man, my man?
Oh my guy, what is going up? Weird day.
Yeah,
a lot of emotions going on, you know. I'm doing good overall. Trying to navigate, you know what I mean? This is a big deal. It's a big day. Yeah. Some happy emotions, some kind of nostalgic, you know, now that I'm actually thinking about how long we've been doing this, you know, in total, and how long I've been, you know, along for the journey. 4 years out of 7, you know, it's a long time, and it's gonna be interesting to see how tonight goes. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Heck
in a
yeah.
weird way.
Yeah,
how about yourself?
Leading up to it, I was just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's been bittersweet because on one side it's like, oh man, it'll be nice to just be able to, I don't know, just have time again. I don't know, a little less responsibility in my life. It's already so chaotic, but man, yeah, I don't know. This is
we were talking about that before. I remember I was like, for the last 4 years, right? That's been Monday night. It's like,
yeah,
you know what you're doing. You always know what you're doing Monday night, and now to not have that is going to be weird. Mondays are going to suck again all the way through, not just like from, you know, before work and after work. I'm gonna have to find something to fill that time. But, you know, maybe it'll be something that causes whatever the next big arc is in life for us to happen. So
heck yeah,
we'll just have to see. Yeah,
I know. So this is just like, it's a habit. This is second nature. This is what we do. And so it's like, all right, well, what's Monday nights going to be now? What are we going to do? Maybe I'll just still call you and annoy you. Be like, hey, dude, like, let's chat.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
Or maybe we just turn it into like a game night. Maybe we'll find something to play and we'll just play it on. You know what I mean? I don't know. We got options. We got
options. But thank you all so much for joining us here tonight on this final episode of Super Gamer Boys. Today, we're talking about Kojima's timeline for Physint. Mario Kart World almost came to Switch 1, and Playdate is getting a Season 2. Can't wait for that. But first, let's give one last shout out to our Patreon producer, Kojima01. And let's just give a big old shout out to all the producers we've had over the years. We had Hophead Ed, we had Carrie, we had Bumple Smash, we had Adrian, we had Matt Lou. We've had so many. I probably should have written them all out if I was, you know, thinking, but yeah, so many just incredible people over the years who have supported us. We have our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mare, David Matthews. So many incredible folks who have supported us financially over the years and really made all this possible. We couldn't have done so much of what we did without all your support. So thank you so much. It still blows my mind, even though we've been doing this for 7 years, to think that people were willing to financially support us to make this thing is mind-blowing, honestly.
It is. It's honestly also, though,
so much of the time,
kind of like,
I just have
it's
imposter
a confidence
syndrome.
boost too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because so much of the time I have like this imposter syndrome where I'm just like, who am I to talk about video games? And then it's like, oh, okay, like, I'm talking about video games and people like it and people are having fun and people enjoy our content and they're supporting us. So I'm like, cool.
Enough to pay for it. Yeah.
So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for all the support over the years. We appreciate it. And I guess this is a heads up. If you do support us on Patreon,
stop doing it.
You can go ahead and cancel that subscription. I am planning on keeping the Patreon up at least for a few more months in case you want to go back and listen to like Super Later Boy stuff. And then, I don't know, we'll kind of reevaluate if we'll keep it going or just shut it down after like 3-4 months or something. Because again, I know I would not be surprised if there's some people who don't even remember they support us on there. So I would hate to like have that continually go without them knowing it. So that's the plan at the moment, tentative. Obviously, if you support us on Patreon, keep an eye out for updates. If that end is in sight, we'll obviously give you a date, an end date, so you know it's coming. But at this point, we are planning on doing another Super Later Boys. So this is the last Super Gamer Boys podcast. There will be one more Super Later Boys. TBD when we're going to record that. Maybe this week, maybe next week. We'll see. We'll get back to
the very last episode.
But it'll be
episode 10-2.
Yes. Super Later Boys, episode 10-2. So stay tuned for that if you are supporting us. Big, huge shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on our show. Tonight, we got the ultimate final mix playlist going on. All three artists in one playlist, all in one shot.
Did you do that for me? Was that a special thing for me, huh? Calling it final mix?
Final mix. It actually wasn't intentional, but yes. And now that you say that, that was
you should have played. You should have ran with it. Should have been like, yeah, of course I call it final mix. Why wouldn't I?
Of course I would do that for you. So big ol' shout out to them for allowing us to use all their music over the years. And I go show them all the love and support. Links are always in the show description for Spotify, Apple Music. Go listen to them. They make incredible music. And last week, DJ Trooz was on our show. Go check that episode out too. That was a fun one. I missed it because I was dying. But I'm alive now.
Now that you have time, maybe you can go and actually go see Naomi and get treated for that fox die.
Maybe
at some point.
Maybe we'll see. Yeah, it might be worth it looking into, or I can just die off screen like Snake does.
Yeah, that's true too. Anyway, you keep talking. I got some special Roost Reserve to get to.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, our merch store will also still be up, and you can go get some Summer Gamer Boys merch, I guess, which I'm also,
A little too much hot toddy in that toddy. All right, you know what I mean. Woo!
All right. We're starting this episode off right.
Huh.
Let's get into this next segment. As you can tell, I'm still recovering from my sickness from 2 weeks ago. So bear with me.
And that ain't helping.
Yeah, and that drink's not helping. Now it's time to check the mailbag. It's the part of the show where I check the mailbag and, oh, yes. What?
I just wanted to say, because they've already been packed up and we sold them on eBay. Super Gamer Bot also wanted to say thank you for putting up with their shenanigans all these years. They and I have workshopped so many bits, and some of them flew, some of them flopped, but it was a fun thing to do, and I'm kind of glad that everybody took to GamerBot with such open arms. So that was a nice thing, that nice addition that I'm glad went over well. And I'm sure wherever GamerBot is now, rumor is that they are working in the back lot of a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, they're managing the software over there, but I'm sure that they are happy to be where they are and happy to be away from us.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm sure they're living a much more fulfilling life.
Right.
Doing something that's
away from us two chuckleheads. So
yeah, exactly. Even Chuck E. Cheese is better than working for us. Oh man. All right. Ooh, sorry. 1 second. We are having some issues with YouTube stream. All right, we're back up and running over there. Apologies for that. Yogurt Archangel in the chat says, gonna go check Chuck E. Cheese right now and verify. Oh man. All right, this first question comes to us from Sir Prince-a-Lot. And he writes in, question for the show. No question. Love you guys.
Oh, shucks.
Shucks. Thank you so much. We love you too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Look at you getting soft, Prince-a-Lot.
Yeah, he's he's a little
on
softy.
The very last
he
one.
likes to pretend. He likes to play like he's a big tough guy, but inside he's just soft like caramel. Sir Prince-a-Lot in the chat says Operation Save Super Gamer Bot. go liberate Super Gamer Bot from Chuck E. Cheese.
Now look, I do have a what is that thing called when somebody says a certain string of words and somebody goes into a trance and activates?
I think that like a sleeper agent. And they have like
Yes,
like
yes.
an activation code. Yeah.
There we go. I have a USB drive that has an activation code on it. I know which Chuck E. Cheese that GamerBot is at.
Trigger so word.
If we ever were to need their services again in time, all I have to do is plug that drive in there and it'll come right back. So don't worry.
Oh man.
I'm keeping tabs. I stuck an AirTag on the inside of the chassis so nobody will, so I'll know where it is at all times. So don't worry about it.
So good. So good. All right. Let's get into this next mailbag letter here from Ranger. We have Ranger's resolution. We all know that everything must come to an end and nothing lasts forever. But does that have to apply to the Super Gamer Boys? The show was such a pleasure, especially with the chill vibe. It was like sitting down to a fireside chat to converse about everything gaming. How fun was it to dip your hands in the pudding and explore the knowns and the unknowns of gaming's connective tissue together? You boys weren't always right. My PlayStation Portal is great, and I stand by that.
Now.
But yeah, now that they've added, you can stream games to it,
right,
from online, and even then, it's I don't know. But there were viewpoints shared that I appreciated and valued. I also respect how quote-unquote clean you both crafted the show. I can't tell you how often I listen to a podcast and my kids get in the car or come into the room only to hear what younger ears simply shouldn't hear. I would have said lug holes, but I didn't want Garrett to have to look up that word again. I'm going to be honest. Still don't know what it means.
It's probably for the best that you don't.
And then he says, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, to clarify, the show was only clean once JJ left the show. LOL.
Well, we took all that talk and we shifted it over to Later Boys. So that's where that is. You know, this is the main stage. You know, you got to have some decorum when you step up here. That's all.
Yep. So I guess as the campfire burns down to embers, it's time for our last questions together. Question 1. If you knew that you only had the opportunity to play one last game forever for one evening, what would that game be? I probably would pick an open world game knowing that I had the freedom to go wherever and do whatever, because at the end of the night, all gaming would be locked away for all eternity. Or perhaps I would pick a game knowing I could complete it end to end in one night sitting, such as Flower, Titanfall 2, A Short Hike, etc. What would your
great question,
final game of all time be?
Well, I don't want it to be something that's open world because it will always remain unfinished. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to beat the game.
Right.
So I feel like it would need to be something that I can beat in a night. So
100%.
Honestly, it'd probably be Undertale.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be my, like if this was the last game I was ever going to play, because you can beat it in about 8 hours or so. And it's a complete story and it's got, like I said, masterful characters, incredible music, great story. I think that's a good like little video gamey package, you know, for me to remember games by. So I'd say Undertale.
I think I'm right there with you. It has to be something I can finish in an evening, because if I don't finish it, I think that would kill me. To like leave something part. Although I say that, but that's like my gaming career for the past 7 years since starting this podcast is playing games and not finishing them due to just having to keep up with what's new. But I would want to finish something, I think, and I'd have to go.
I hope you're not going to say Omori, because I don't want you to be depressed forever about when you think about video games.
There's a freaking dude like chainsawing outside my window right now.
Isn't it 8 o'clock?
It's 8 o'clock at night. What the heck are you doing?
What?
I was like, what is happening? I thought like my headphones were freaking out. I took took them off, and no, there's a guy doing a chainsaw or something outside. Crazy. Anyways, sorry.
Only on
apologies.
The last one.
Okay. So my final game. No, I wouldn't do a more, because that's also a long game. I mean, that's like...
Yeah, that's true too.
That's a pretty long game. At least it can be. Like that's easily like a 15 plus hour game if you really like take your time with it. I guess you could probably speed run through it, but even then, like It wouldn't be the same. No, I would pick. I mean, it's gonna be obvious. I'm gonna pick Metal Gear Solid 1 because you can beat the game in like 5 to 6 hours. I could easily like sit down after the kids go to bed, wrap that up, and it wouldn't even be that late of a night. I could wrap that up and then never touch a video game again, knowing that I finished my gaming career on the best game ever
on some
created.
peak.
So I think that's what
I'm
I
not
would
mad at it.
I almost would want to pick 2. Because I think I like 2 a little better. I've talked about that in the past, but
can you beat 2 in 8 hours?
I don't like 2.
I feel like it's longer than that.
It's it's closer to like the 10-hour mark, I think, unless you're really cruising. Maybe you could go, but I'm such a completionist with those games because I know where all like the hidden stuff is. Like I have to go and find all the things, so it would drive me crazy to, again. Yoga Archangel in the chat says Adrian would go for a genocide playthrough and get stuck on sands.
Never. I will never in my life do a genocide run in that game. Those characters are family to me. How dare you, Yogurt?
Oh man.
No, but seriously, I it is not in me to do a genocide. There are many games that I will do like just to see how it plays out, like the quote unquote evil run. But there's something about those characters in that game. I could not bring myself to hurt a hair on their heads. That's how good and how like well written and make you think that they're actual friends that Toby wrote them as. So
he says, wait, so you haven't 100% of the game?
My 100% completion is to do the normal one and then to do the pacifist. And anything past that is extended canon. So I know what happens. I looked it up in the genocide run. I just refuse to actually commit the genocide run.
There you go. Sir Princelot says, good last game, Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, again, I could not. I mean, okay, if I was starting at a save point towards the end of the game, so then like the death of my gaming career kind of goes along with what happens in the story.
Okay.
Then yes. So give me a save point with like only like 5 hours left in the game, and then that would actually be kind of peak. Nicholas McMath in the chat. What is up? How's it going? Long time.
Yo, thanks for popping in.
It's going to be a little more freeform podcast. For those who are listening and watching later, we might reference the chat a lot, but hey, you know what? This is the last.
There's no rules tonight. There's no rules.
We're doing whatever we want. We're drinking on the job. All right.
Literally.
All right. Let's get to this next question because they have 3 questions. Ranger has 3 questions here. So that's the first one. Question 2: if you were offered $100,000 in cash to not touch/play a video game for 5 consecutive years in any capacity, would you accept these terms? Growing up with an older brother, gaming has always been present in my home and part of my life. That being said, I probably would take the money just to give it to my kids, family, etc. I'm a disciplined man, but this would be a tough first.
So for me, there are so many resources to still quote unquote indirectly enjoy video games these days that I think I'd be able to get by without actually playing them, right? Like you can always YouTube and watch a story of a game. Or, you can bend the rules and have somebody come by and play the game next to you on the couch, right? There's ways to still experience. There's coverage that you can watch that people will talk about it. So you can, kind of form your own opinion or, have that discussion about it so you don't feel left out. So,
I mean, it depends on what they mean by not touch, because it says not touch/play a video game. So I could understand like what you're saying.
None of that's touching or playing them.
But do they mean physically touch sticks, or do they mean like touch as in like don't even be near a video game? Because
that might be a little different.
Because I'm with you.
Near any kind of it.
Yeah. Because I'm with you. If it's like what you were saying before, like 100%. Like I could just watch people's playthroughs, watch streams, whatever. Watch my kids play. But man, as soon as it's like, oh no. Zero contact with video games. I mean, intentional contact. Obviously, if you walk through Walmart and look over and see a video like this, the Nintendo Switch display,
you turn to dust.
I feel like that doesn't count. That shouldn't count. But I think I would 100% do this for $100,000. I'd do anything for $100,000. To be honest, I would do just about anything.
Well, you better think about that.
I would do anything, Adrian, for $100,000. So. So not playing video games for 5 years.
Just remember that's on the internet forever now. All right.
That's fine. This is the last episode and we're dead. We're dead virtually. We don't exist.
You're gonna get a text in like 3 years. It's gonna be like, so about that $100,000. You're gonna be like, what in the world are you talking about? And they're gonna send you the clip.
They send me the clip, the Twitch clip.
Yep. I'm gonna say, see, I told you.
No, after this, we don't exist. Like once the podcast ends, we die. We don't exist anymore. That's how it works.
Okay, fair point.
Because we only exist on the internet.
Yep. As far as they know.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have been AI this whole time.
We could have been AI the whole time. All right. You guys think AI is just getting good?
We are
the whole time.
We are Gemini.
Oh man. So you would take it? You think you'd go for it?
Yeah. If I could do it the way that I was saying originally, where it's like, there's ways that I can still consume gaming content without actually interacting with it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. But if it's you can't do anything related to games, I'd have to bounce out. Yeah. Like even now, I'm at my least overall period interacting with video games, but just to know that I'm in proximity of them if I wanted to be, there's like some like mental comfort that brings. Mm-hmm. That if I lost that, I don't know how I would take that or react to that, because video games are such an integral part of me as a person. So
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. All right. One last question from Ranger here. What specific memory or memories will you both look back on fondly as you worked on the show together for so many years? I'll anticipate Ranger's rant as it organically became such a pillar of the show.
All right. Don't hurt your arm, Ranger. Patting yourself on the back. Good grief. The things that I'm probably going to remember the most, or that I will think about a lot, are all the like extracurricular stuff we did. So like Super Dungeon Boys, the Halloween skits, or just skits that we did in general. The stuff that we kind of had to put like the extra effort in, like when we would do gameplay streams, anything that was outside of like the norm, I think was one of the highlights. Yeah. That, and then I know there's been a few, I can't remember specifically which episodes, but there have been a couple of episodes that I can remember where we were like genuinely laughing so hard that like starting to shed tears, and I wouldn't trade those times for anything. I wish I could go back and find them exactly where they are. I probably have to like start at way back when and just let them play until it comes up. But yeah, just moments like that.
Yeah, I'm right there with that. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, there's been quite a few of those episodes where I just remember being in stitches, just like dying over something. And it's like, man, like that's, even though I don't remember this specific like moment, like what was said, what was done, like it just made the show so much fun. Whether it's something stupid JJ said, or even like I think back to this stupid argument me and Zetch had about which is better, like Forza or Gran Turismo or whatever. Like
and how you legitimately
and how I was getting heated because he was stating just completely false statements on the show, and it was like driving me insane. He was doing it to get under my skin. Like he knows it was getting under my skin, and I was like, ugh.
Now I will say, did you ever get around to actually playing this generation's Forza? Because I've never played a
Forza game.
I have heard tell that I think Polyphony might have got beat by Turn 10 this year.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that Gran Turismo only comes out once every like 10 years either. They're so slow.
That's true too.
Where Forza is basically like yearly or every couple of years.
Well, no, Forza Horizon is yearly. Mainline Forza takes a minute.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, good times like that. I'm right there with the extracurricular stuff. Like looking back, I think one of the, the skits we did for Spooky Gamer Boys were so much fun to make. Because I was in a zone where, like, I also was learning how to do... Remember, I was learning how to do, like, special effects and, like, VFX and stuff, like, in After Effects. So, like, I just
color correction.
So, it's not, like... It's not good, but... Dang, for someone who...
It's good, it's good to be. We put a lot of work into those.
I learned from YouTube videos and, like, pumped that out in, like... 2-3 weeks. What 3 skits we did, 4 skits we did? I'm like, that's pretty dang good for being a complete noob. Like, I had never touched After Effects before that, and here I am, like, doing all sorts of fun stuff. So that was a freaking blast. And then also Super Dungeon Boys. That was
a highlight.
Oh man, not only was it such a blast to record, like playing D&D is... I love it. I love D&D so much. Like, I want to play more. I haven't played in forever. I think since my birthday last year, you know? Like, I played with some friends. But otherwise, it's like, I haven't played in a minute. But, again, like, the production process of that, because once we recorded, I was editing those...
I was going to say, I think that pushed you to the brink, too, didn't it?
Oh, it just about killed me. Because the timeline we recorded at the behind the scenes, I guess, of Super Dungeon Boys, we recorded like it was supposed to be like a month before October because they come out. It was a Spooky Gamer Boys thing, but we ended up like it kept getting pushed. It ended up being like the end of September. And then
it was like till 2 a.m. we were up doing that.
We did 2 recordings until like 2 a.m. That one. And well, in our DM,
I will fully admit, me
Derick
and JJ
is East Coast. Derick is East Coast time, so he's 3 hours ahead. So he's playing until 5 a.m. DMing for us. Like, what the heck?
Hardcore.
But then like the production timeline after that, like all the editing and stuff, like I'm trying to pump these out like as like literally the day before they're supposed to be like released. I'm still working on stuff and like doing sound effects and music and cutting like gaps out and like weird like little like to make it listenable, you know, because you don't want to like listen to like us shuffling through like or the Dungeon Master Guide or their player's handbook or like what's on my character sheet. Like I cut so much out to make it like more of like a radio kind of broadcast type thing, or what do they call it, like a radio show or
a drama.
What's drama?
Radio
yeah, so like that kind of thing. Like in like adding the music and sound effects, like poured my heart and soul into that thing. And on the other side, I'm like, dang, this is again, it's no Dimension 20. But I was so freaking proud of that. So yeah,
you should be.
Shout out to freaking Derick for DMing it for us, because that was like such a fun story to do. And then like, yeah, the production of that was so fun. So I think it's one of my favorite things we made. Oh man. So Princelot's in the chat and he says phone calls from Clayle. That's old time Super Gamer Boys, where he used to call us while we were recording and just say wild things, absolutely wild things. And it was fantastic. So shout out to Clayle. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Well, and Rangers ran, obviously. I'll throw that in there just for the heck of it. There you go, Ranger.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. P.S. So knowing the form submission will always be there is a comfort to me. Of course, if in this moment of devastated anguish, perhaps it could serve as gaming therapy entries. Boys,
feel free.
Thank you for all of those fireside chats. Enjoy your gaming freedom. Catch you on the flippity flop. Ranger out. Thanks.
Oh man, I was doing okay until the Ranger out. Like that really makes it real. Like this is it.
Kind of crazy. Crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
End of an era.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. Here we are, 7 years later, making cool stuff. And who knows? Maybe I just keep trying to remind myself, who knows? Maybe one day we'll be back. You know, this isn't a for good thing. This is like, hey, hopefully one day we'll be in a different place. We can come back, make some cool stuff. But yeah, it's definitely...
be a little older, a little wiser.
Yeah, there you go. A little more gray.
Just kidding. Maybe just a little older, but you know...
Yeah, less wiser.
Maybe come back and talk about maybe I'll be like, I don't know, missing an eye, or maybe
gosh, what's happening?
I don't know.
So like Cyberpunk 2077,
if One
like
Piece
Night
can have
City.
a time skip where Zoro came back with no eye, then we can have a time skip where I come back with no eye. Okay.
Got a big slash across my chest.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched that far, but I just see the images.
You should have been. Now you got no excuse because you got no show to edit. So that's on you.
All the time in the world, Yeah. That can be my Monday nights. Maybe we can watch One Piece together. Monday nights, you and me get together. Let's watch through One Piece together over Discord.
I'd be down. I am absolutely down.
Oh, man. All right. Let's get into this next segment. It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
For the last time, it's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Wow. Just let that breathe for a second. That's a good one.
Just appreciate it.
All right.
Let it in.
Let it in. Breathe in deep. Oh wow. I just switched over to the 3-panel slot for YouTube or on the stream, and it's just a giant picture of Hideo Kojima's face. It looks like he's part of the call right now.
How mind blown would you have, I feel like you would have passed out if he was just popped
Adrian,
in. I heard it was the last episode of your podcast.
You invited Kojima on his show for the final episode? I would have fainted. I would have died.
I think you legitimately would have fainted.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. No, this is a news story. All right. This news story comes to us from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. Newly independent Game Informer, that is.
Shout out to them. Wishing them well.
Shout out. Also, we didn't talk about this a couple weeks ago. It was in the news. Giant Bomb. They're independent now, too. Pretty sick.
Yep. They were on the verge of getting shut down, and they said, hold on.
Hold on one
second. What if we
purchased
it? And they did. And a group of the Giant Bomb employees and staff and executives all pooled together their money and purchased Giant Bomb from, is it Fanbyte that owned it?
I think it was Fanbyte, yeah.
And they purchased it from them. So now they're running Giant Bomb fully independent. So please, if you haven't, go check out Giant Bomb. They are awesome. They make a lot of awesome gaming content, and they need all the help that they can get, especially now that they're just starting out on their independent journey. So
yeah. Good podcast, good news stories, all around good content. All right. Hideo Kojima says Physint, his next action espionage game, is 5 to 6 years away. So you're going to, hang on real quick, you're going to see a common theme through all these news stories, and these are 100% authentically us. We are going out
to the core, baby,
with a Kojima story. We're going out with a Nintendo story. We're going out with a Playdate story. We're going indie year, baby. We're doing it all. So, hey, if you want to know who we are as people,
this is the most us episode you can get.
Hideo Kojima and PlayStation announced last year they were teaming up to create a new action espionage game called Physint, a welcome genre return for fans of Kojima's Metal Gear Solid series. In a new interview with French magazine Le Film Francois, I don't know if that's how it's said, but
sounds like a parody magazine. Like
it really does. Kojima said Physint is 5 to 6 years away from release. This timeline isn't too surprising. Kojima's production's next release is Death Stranding 2 on the Beach on June 26. Heck yeah, I can't wait. Got that collector's edition coming. I get to play it 2 days early. Heck yeah. And the studio's already developing its next game after that, OD for Xbox. I'll have to buy an Xbox for that. Assuming Kojima
you have
Productions
a PC.
does. Yeah, but I feel like it's going to play best on Xbox, you know?
I mean, it is, but you still have a PC. I'm just throwing that out there.
Assuming Kojima Productions has no other surprises, Kojima claimed last year that Physint's development would begin in earnest after the launch of Death Stranding 2. likely up to bat after OD, so the 5 to 6 year timeline makes sense. Besides Death Stranding 2, there is Physint in development that will take me another 5 or 6 years. Maybe after that, I could finally decide to tackle a film. Dude, he's been saying he's going to make a film for 30 years.
For the last 20 years.
Like, as long as I've been alive, he's talked about making a film. Like, you look back at interviews, like, just make a dang film already. Stop talking.
You can tell he's been
it.
trying to make a movie since the first Metal Gear. Ever since then.
Yes. Oh, man. Real quick, shout out to Boba Fletch in the chat. Love y'all. Adrian, you are still a gamer.
Oh, appreciate you, my boy. To my core. I got a surprise for you if you stick around. Maybe I, might have played a little something. Who knows?
Ooh, okay,
you might have to stick around and see.
Adrian playing something?
And there's a reason for it.
Oh, so good. Kojima also told the magazine he received many offers to direct a movie when he left Konami in 2015. Considering how much Kojima loves films and the people behind them, seeing him direct one wouldn't be surprising. Consider those extra long Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding cutscenes practice for his directorial debut. While waiting for Physint, check out Game Informer's Death Stranding 2 hands-on preview, blah, blah, blah. So there it is. Hideo Kojima. Look at this incredible 61-year-old man.
Soon to be another 5 to 6. He's going to be 7-year-old.
Yeah, he's going to be just shy of 70 years old by the time this game comes out, which is actually
insane,
crazy to think about. But he's a man. There's another news story I almost talked about too. Did you see the story where apparently he has a thumb drive full of ideas that he's leaving with the studio in case he dies? Like they can continue to make games.
I did.
Basically, he's uploaded his consciousness to a thumb drive. He's like, here, keep making games like directed and written by me. Oh man,
this is a copy of my brain. Keep it sacred. Keep it safe.
Oh man, the thought of like Kojima Productions continuing to make games after he's dead, and what I want to happen is like he's dead, he's gone, and like a game comes out and it still pops up and says written by Hideo Kojima, produced by Hideo Kojima, written by Hideo Kojima. Like the credits, it's honestly, all just, even though he had no part in it other than just thumb
it's not
drive.
that crazy though. It's not that crazy because bringing it back around because I could not care less. Me and One Piece, right? Oda did the same thing. He has already written out all the story's already done, right? Like he's already written all the way to the end. And there are, I think, 2 people on planet Earth that know how the story is going to go because he's written it down and, how exactly to plan it out to get there if he dies. So that way, even if he does die, we still get all the way to the end. Even if it has to be like in a book form or like if they just tell us, so at least we'll have like his full total vision for the story. Yeah. And I'm like, that's genius.
That is, yeah.
But so I say that to say that it's not necessarily the craziest thing that Kojima has done that too. And that makes sense. So
yeah, that makes sense. Boba Fletch in the chat says, should I buy a PS5 Pro? I need to play Death Stranding 2. I obviously haven't played Death Stranding 2, but all the coverage I've seen, and I've watched like a bunch of kind of funny stuff, which I know you watch as well, Boba. It sounds like this game runs like butter on a base PS5. Like I don't know if you watch the stuff from like Blessing. He got to go over there and play it for like a week, and he's like, dude, I was playing on a base PS5 and it looked phenomenal, played phenomenal. So, I mean, I'm sure PS5 Pro is going to be great because I had the same thought. I'm like, do I need to buy a PS5 Pro? And then I'm like, why would I spend $700 for one game? That seems kind of crazy.
When it's your second favorite game of all time.
Yeah, but then when I heard his review, I was kind of surprised, honestly, that it runs so well on a base PS5. So I'm like, okay, I'll play on a base PS5. Who knows? Maybe in a couple years, I'll pick up a Pro. And when the director's cut comes out and I can replay it again on PS5 Pro or something. But yeah, no, Death Stranding 2 seems to be like magic is what it sounds like. Like somehow they're pushing the Decima engines to the very like edges of what it could possibly do and just maximizing it, which is pretty sick.
Do you think, how long do you think, how far out do you think we are from OD? Do you think he's working on them both at the same time?
Yes. I think so.
Okay. Because I'm imagining we're maxed a year and a half out from OD.
That's what I was going to say. I think within 2 years. I think we got to get it within 2 years.
He can't tie up Jordan Peele for that long because I'm sure he wants to work on another movie. So there's no way, you know, that this project can be years and years and years down the line. Because I know Jordan has another movie that he wants to work on. So
yep,
this has got to tie up. At least the story part's got to be for sure done, and then they can just actually make the game. So
and if Physint's 5 to 6 years away, like I feel like they're probably working on OD currently, but like as soon as Death Stranding 2 is out, like they're full-time OD, and it has to be within 2 years, year and a half, like you said. So that way it gives them a good solid at that point, you know, like 3. So if it's within 2 years, that gives them solid 3 years to work on like really dialing Physint, you know? So
I also don't think,
we'll see.
I'm of the mind, and I don't know if anybody said different, but I don't think OD is going to be that big or that long. I think it's going to be like maybe I'd say 3 to 5 hour game. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, really? I could see it being like, maybe closer to like, I was thinking like around 8 hours, maybe. Like, so not super duper long, but not super short. Like that seems short, like just a couple hours.
Well, because they only announced it last year, wasn't it last year? So they would have had to been in pre-pro, we'll say maybe a year before now, right? Long enough to make that teaser. Yeah. So I think with last year, with this year, and then with next year, that's 3 years of development. And if they have to get that, and that would leave 3 years for Physint to be full steam ahead until it comes out. So that's why I'm thinking if they only have 3 years, they're not gonna, do something crazy. Maybe I'll give them maybe 4 to 6 hours, which is, again, this is just arbitrary because you know me, I don't care how long a game is as long as it's an incredible, fulfilling experience, you know? Yeah. But, I just have a feeling that it's not going to be as big as like a Death Stranding or whatever Physint is going to be. So,
and if it's a horror game, you don't want it too crazy long. I feel like, anyways, especially I would hope it's at least 6 hours long. That's what
so you can get a full story's worth. Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's how long. Okay, I mean, this is a very poor comparison, so don't judge me on this one. But back in the day, I mean, even modern day, this is still the case, but back in the day when it was a good franchise, Call of Duty games, Call of Duty Modern Warfare and stuff like that, like they're about 5 to 6 hours long, and they had incredible stories. Nailed it.
Were
perfect.
They good.
That was such a sweet, perfect amount of time. Didn't overstay its welcome, but it wasn't too short either. It was great. And so that's really a sweet spot. And I feel like with a horror game like that, you don't want to go on too long because then it's going to not be scary anymore.
Right.
But if it's too short, leaving you wanting more isn't a bad thing, but it's not great either. Like when people are like, I was just getting into it, and then all of a sudden it just
given
ends,
me a meaty regular experience. If I've had a meaty thing and you want to leave me hanging, it has to be.
If it means there's a sequel, then
sure,
yeah.
Right. For sure more is coming, or it could be kind of like how before we knew there was Last of Us 2, how they left us with that little bit on the end. It's something for you to talk about, but the game itself was already so meaty you feel fulfilled. So that's the trade-off.
I don't think OD is going to have a sequel though.
No, I don't think so either.
I think it's a standalone thing, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Which seems wild from a video game point of view because everything's a franchise. Everything is multiple games. At least that's
literally everything.
That's the hope and goal for every studio because they got to make money somehow, right?
So annoying.
But I think the only reason I think this is because Jordan Peele is involved and because of Hideo Kojima's respect for just cinema in general. I feel like he could both of them would be no, we're doing a one-off thing. I feel like like he's getting Jordan Peele one time, you know. I don't think he would come back. You think you'd even get him to come back to do a second game kind of thing?
I think if Kojima asked, he would.
And if they're maybe, but it's like I think to like his other movie, like Jordan Peele's movies, not obviously never done a game, but his movies, like they're very much like it's done, it's over, that's it. Like he doesn't make movies that necessarily go off into sequels or even that. But they do the thing like you mentioned, where a lot of his movies end with a kind of like a but what? But hang on. What if? Hang on a second. What was that? But yeah, I don't think it's getting so. With that, I just hope it's a decent amount of playtime, so that way, you know, we're getting a little bit of, like you said, I want it to be satisfying, you know, which I mean, if it's a good story and they can tell it in 3 hours, then great. But I can't think of many video games that I've beaten 3 hours that I'm like 10 out of 10. Phenomenal.
I can think of a couple that I'm like, you know what, that was pretty good.
Okay.
The one I think of the most is probably Gone Home. Gone Home, I think, was about three and a half hours.
Yeah.
And that one was a really like good emotional, short story.
Yeah.
So they are out.
That's true.
I know I've played more, but they're just not coming to mind. But that's the one that I think of with that's like, oh, it was only a short amount of time, but it really like affected you.
Yeah.
So they're out there.
That's true. You are not wrong. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see about all those games. He's got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm excited. Death Stranding 2.
Good luck.
OD, Physint. I'm stoked about and a movie and Death Stranding movie. And I mean, this isn't Kojima, but Metal Gear Solid Delta remake still coming out this year.
Yes. Did you see that new gameplay or the intro?
I did. I watched the little dinner party interview with the intro.
I can't wait for you to. It's not even on like a yes, finally. It's more like I just want you to finally be like, I get it. MGS3 absolutely rips, and it's ripped this whole time. I was wrong. And then you're going to want to go back and play 5, and then you can be like, actually 5 rips too.
No,
I can't wait for this redemption arc. Oh,
I don't know.
It's going to be so good.
I don't know about 5. I could see me fall in love with 3. I don't know about 5 though.
You'll want to play 5 really bad because of how good 3 is. Because you're gonna be like, oh, Big Boss is actually awesome. Didn't realize that. So, what a good arc is gonna be for you.
We'll see. Too bad it's all happening off screen.
Yeah, unfortunately. Maybe you'll come back. Maybe you'll be the one that comes back with the eye patch. Trying to be like the boss.
Gotta be like the boss. All right. Let's get into this next news story. Also coming to us from Game Informer. Look at that. Donkey Kong dabbing. Love to see it. They love to see it. Nintendo considered lowering resolution and frame rate for Mario Kart World before changing development to the Switch 2. Also from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. Man, he's on a freaking roll over there.
Good. Keep them coming.
Mario Kart World is the next entry in the long-running arcade racing series, and it's also the big launch game for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is just 2 weeks away. Though it looks new and shiny on Switch 2, it didn't always look this way, as Nintendo originally planned for the game to be a Switch title. Doing so would have required lowering the resolution and frame rate, which, amongst other things, is what prompted Nintendo to shift development to the Switch 2. This news comes from a new 4-part interview series with some of the leads behind Mario Kart World, including producer Kosuke Yabuki, programming director Kenta Sato, art director Masaki Ishikawa, and general gameplay
Aren't you doing
design
Duolingo every day? How are you having such issues with these?
What?
I said, aren't you doing Duolingo every day? You sound like you're struggling to read these.
No, I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Shintaro Jukumaru. And music lead Atsuko Asahi. In the interview, the team discusses an assortment of topics, including the new character designs, the interconnected world, and how the game began development on the Switch. When we were developing for the Nintendo Switch system, it was difficult for us to incorporate everything we wanted, so we were always conscious of what we were giving up in return, Sato said in part 1 of the interview series. We discussed things like toning down the visuals, lowering the resolution. We even considered dropping the frame rate to 30 FPS in some cases. It was a tough situation. Sato said Yabuki first suggested developing the game for Switch 2 instead of Switch around 2020, but the team had to work on the provisional estimated specs as the console's insides weren't yet finalized. He also said that while developing for Switch, the team often worried whether it could find the right balance between planning, performance, and with everything happening in Mario Kart World, it struggled to get it running at 60 FPS.
All right, Chief.
I know.
I find that hard to believe. Look, of all the things that Mario Kart World was going to be, it's a Mario Kart game. You could have found a way to make it run at 60 frames a second. All right. Regardless, if 8 can run at 60, we could have stripped some things back to have it run at 60. Now, would it have been the end of the world if it had to run at 30? Absolutely not. Would they have ever heard the end of it if they put out a Mario Kart that ran at 30? Since none has technically ever ran at 30? Probably. It would have been a pretty big deal, but I think they would have lived. But to say that, we didn't know the console, we didn't know if it was going to be able to run 60. All right, brother. Okay, Chief. Sure. At minimum.
I think for me, what was funny is like the thing that stands out to me the most about that news story isn't even like about the game, but just, and I know this is the case, but it's just something you don't think about often, is the fact that back in 2020, they were already working on the Switch 2. They just didn't have it finalized. Yeah. Like that kind of, like, I know that's always a thing. And a lot of people are like, well, yeah, duh, of course. But I don't know. For me, like, I don't think about that often. To just sort of hear, not only were they were developing this game back in 2020, or they had already been developing this game for who knows how long. So this game existed over 5 years ago. But the fact that the Switch 2 is technically kind of existed for like over 5 years and only, just wasn't 100% finalized what the specs were going to be. So I don't know. That's what stands out to me so far in this article. It's just kind of interesting to me. It's like, oh yeah, duh, of course, but it's just not something you think about. Like, oh man, like, no. The Switch 2 has been around for a long time. And
just like PS5, they started PS5, I think 2 years after PS4 launched. They started the process on that. So you can't sit around. It takes a lot of man hours and a lot of R&D and a lot of, planning to launch a whole console like that. So it makes sense. It tracks.
Crazy. Yabuki added, we worked on it while kicking the can down the road in terms of deciding what to give up on. So at some point, we knew it was going to be messy. But as we decided to release Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Pass, we thought that would give us more time to continue development. That's when the conversation of moving it to the Switch 2 system came up, and this suddenly opened up a bunch of possibilities on what we could do. It was truly a ray of hope. Very interesting. So, yeah, this could have been a Switch 1 game, but coming to... I'm glad they pushed it to Switch 2. Give us a better game. Like, this game looks phenomenal. Everything that they've shown off it's a gorgeous game.
Yeah. I am too, but also I think had we never known it was going to be a Switch 2 game, it probably would have been okay being on Switch 1. Because it would have just been whatever, the new Mario Kart was. Speaking of which, I may have to make a potentially risky financial decision here in the next couple of weeks. I put in for the drawing to be one of the potential people to go to the San Francisco Nintendo store on launch day for a shopping session. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes if I get picked, because I can't just take a ticket and not go. You know what I mean?
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah. So I might be able to go on launch day and stroll on in and pick me up a unit. So
shoot,
we'll see how that goes.
I signed up online anticipating like, oh yeah, I'll get an email right away to pre-order one, and I still haven't gotten my email. I know
I never got one either.
I've heard they're doing it in waves though, like they're not doing it all at once. So like,
right.
So from like after reading the fine print, there's a chance I don't get a pre-order link until like there's a chance it could be after the system even comes out. So basically, it just gives me the opportunity to buy it without having to worry about scalpers, which is nice. But it's still like, oh, I wanted to pre-order. I want to get it on launch day, possibly. Like, I want to have that opportunity to be able to maybe do that. But at this point, it's not looking great because of when it comes out next week.
Well, I think they'll only let me get one, unfortunately. If I can get two, I'll see where your head's at, and then maybe I can mail you one.
Okay.
But they haven't said anything about I knowing them though, they're probably gonna be like one per customer.
Yeah, no, so, it would make sense to be limited. I can't imagine them, because then I'm like, people could go in there and buy a bunch, scalp them.
Exactly. So I'm like, well, I guess maybe I could put up with eating ramen for a little bit, for for a little while, and figure it out if it's launch day. But we'll see. That's also, I have to get picked out of the drawing too, and I haven't had the best. Well, we haven't had the best luck with Nintendo drawings lately. No way. So we didn't even get a chance to go to the preview event. So we'll see how
I know this goes. We like signed up immediately for that. Both of us
struck out all the way out.
It was like immediate. Like, no, sorry, you're good. You stay home.
We don't want you. It's crazy.
we don't want you here.
Actually, no, little brother, you're good. No, stay back.
Kojima01 in the chat. What's up? Welcome
in
for the end times.
The gang's all here.
The clock is ticking down. Anyways, what were you saying? You were saying in the middle of saying something.
Oh, I was saying, circling back. I could totally see this game being a Switch 1 game. It would have definitely just been toned down a little bit, but this is the same system that they made Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles. They made all those games work, and those are massive games. Yeah. So I have no doubt that they would have, made whatever concessions they needed to make it happen. But it makes total sense that they would have, made the decision to kick it to Switch 2, especially because seemingly that's the only major Nintendo game that's coming out at launch. So they wouldn't have had anything, in that window. I mean, they could have probably pushed Donkey Kong up a little bit, which I don't know. It's always interesting that games need that just extra little bit of time, because Donkey Kong, for intents and purposes, I'm calling Donkey Kong a launch game. It's literally like 3 to 4 weeks after the system comes out.
That's a launch game.
It's a launch game.
Anything within like the first like month or two to me is like considered. I would consider a launch game.
Yeah. So if when people are doing those like, oh, let's rate the Switch 2 launch lineup, you better put Donkey Kong in there. You better. Yeah. So that is a heck of a 1-2 punch. Is Mario. They give you enough time to get, good and familiar with Mario Kart World, and then bang, right after that, they give you Donkey Kong. So you can, chew on that as much as you want. And then I would imagine shortly after, maybe a couple of months, 2-3 months after, is when we get Metroid, right? I don't think they're going to hold Metroid till holiday.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. We don't know a date on that, huh? Yeah.
No, we just know it's this year.
It'd have to be before holiday. It has to be.
Right. So I'm going to say maybe
everyone's got
August.
Everyone's got this brand new console. They're going to be ravenous for new content. Like they can't make you wait so that long.
I'm going to say latest September, I think. Cuz that gives you a few months with Mario Kart still, and it gives you a few months with Donkey Kong, and then it gives you a little bit of a break in August, and then September is when you get hit with Metroid. And I also wouldn't be surprised if we have another direct between now and, we'll say, Donkey Kong, that's going to show off maybe some other stuff that's coming out for Switch 2, closer to holiday. Especially because we have to wait for Rhythm Heaven until 2026 for some reason.
Yeah. A long way on that one.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly.
That's a day one for me. That's 100% a day. Look, Rhythm Heaven, you want to talk about everybody's like crying about it being, oh, games are $80. That's an $80 game, brother. That's an $80 game in this house. Okay. No problems. That WarioWare.
Yes.
And if they do another good, that WarioWare, Metroid Prime, DK, and if they do another Star Fox, those are $80 games in this house. No problem. No questions asked. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are getting another Xbox or another Star Fox. So
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I just realized we have some chatters over on YouTube. Usually my YouTube chat's not working. Usually it shows me. Hi everyone over on YouTube.
That's because they know. That's because they know.
Bumble Smash over there. Former Patreon producer. How's it going? Acute Perspective. D-Man coming in saying PS5 Pro is weak. Cool. Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Appreciate the feedback. We'll send it on to Sony where we work at.
Oh man, so good. Yeah, no, looking forward to Mario Kart though. I know initially when Switch 2 got announced, I feel like we were both kind of like, whatever. Because we're both like, I'm still very much in a gaming rut. Like,
yeah,
you're
same.
in a gaming rut. Like, but as we get closer to the Switch 2, there is something deep inside of me that still has me, like, I am still super hyped about it. Even though I know I'm like, am I actually going to play a ton of it? I don't know. Is it worth me getting it, like, at launch? Maybe
Probably
not.
because you're not going to be able to get it for the rest of the year. So
That's true. Like, I'm not going to put a lot of hours into it, but I know I will eventually. And I know for sure my kids will. That's the thing. I made the mistake of watching the Direct with my kids. And so they ask me daily when it, like, is it coming out? Is it out yet? Is it out? Because they are stoked about Donkey Kong. Griffin is losing his mind. My youngest, he can't wait for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, he is.
That's because he has good taste. He has good taste. That's why.
and then
Dude,
both of them are stoked for Kirby because they beat the first game on Switch by themselves. Like, I didn't help them at all, or I helped them with like one boss battle, but otherwise, like, they played the entire game together. My 7-year-old and my 4-year-old beat Kirby together. And then when they saw there's DLC coming, they're like, when is it coming out? We got to play more Kirby. We need more Kirby. Like, they're so stoked for Kirby on Switch.
Kirby, a game as fantastic as Forgotten Land, the way God intended, in 60 frames a second.
Oh
my God. Not to mention Zelda, solid 1080p, 60 frames a second, both of them.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
I am excited about Zelda.
I fear that I'm going to be playing those games all the way through again. Both Zelda games, just because they're solid 60.
I hope there's a way to transfer the save over because I'm
starting fresh.
I've talked about it. Excuse me. I've talked about it on previous episodes, but in the last like couple months, I've started playing through it like with my kids because they're not quite old enough to handle the controls, but they understand everything else going on. And so that's been kind of my Whatcha Playing is I'm controlling it, but I'm not really playing it, but I'm their controller. I'm their avatar essentially. And they're like, oh Dad, go over there. Oh Dad, do this. When a puzzle comes up, like Shepard's like, oh, this is how you solve it. Like, he's figuring it out on his own, which is so cool. He's like, wait, you have the magnetic power, like pick the thing up and do this with it. And like, I'm doing it. And so it's been such a blast. So like, if we do pick up a Switch 2, I hope the save transfers because I want to continue to play it. But like, yeah, in the higher resolution, the higher frame rate.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be so good. So freaking
just those are going to be so worth it, dude. 60 frame Xenoblade. Oh my God. Give it here.
Great.
Give it here.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know what? If I get in that raffle, I think I'm gonna happen. You know what? Money comes and goes, Money comes and goes.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this last news story. This comes from news.play.date. Comes from the official Playdate website. Season 2 pre-order now. This is actually an old news story from April 22nd, but it's releasing this week, and I'm stoked about it. Adrian's stoked about it. We've been preaching. Adrian's been preaching Playdate since day one. All right, so of course we're going to talk about
Since 3 years before day one, actually.
Since 3 years before day one, he's been preaching.
2019 was when I first heard about. No, I'm sorry. Wait, yeah, no, it was 3 years before launch when they first started the rumblings about Playdate. I remember tweeting about it. And then I was like waiting, and it was supposed to come out, and then they pushed it back, and then it was supposed to come out, and then they pushed it back because they had the battery issue. So if anybody's been on the ground floor of this thing, I can say with certainty it's been me. And maybe like a handful, I'd say outside of maybe people who work at Panic, I think I was probably one of the earliest people to jump on this and be like, hey, this is gonna be something. You better put your peepers on this. So,
dude,
I'm just saying.
So good. It's so good. So if that's, man, for someone who's picking up a Playdate, like let's say this week, not only will they have all the season 1 games, but then it'll jump right into season 2. Like they'll have just weeks and weeks
all the games on catalog.
So much joy.
God.
So much joy. What are you doing? Go get a freaking Playdate. Hang on.
Hurry up.
How much are they? It's
$229. But that's nothing. That's nothing.
It's $229. It's $229 for
games that you will literally not be able to play anywhere else. You cannot play these anywhere else.
And that's actually one of the things we're going to talk about. Because, okay, so let me get into this. We've just introduced Playdate Season 2, an exciting bundle of 12 brand new Playdate games delivered over 6 weeks. And you can pre-order it right now. 12 games, 6 weeks, $39 pre-order now. The first season was free. Everyone got it free. Season 2, they're making you pay, but for $40, you get 12 games over 6 weeks. Phenomenal. What are you waiting for? Season 2 is a collection of unique and wonderful games. Discover them weekly along with the rest of the Playdate community starting May 29th. Yes, at least our dream of people playing the games together comes true. Make sure you pre-order now before it starts so you don't miss out. If you don't have Playdate yet, they're in stock and ready to ship. And we don't want to tell you too much, but here are the Season 2 titles. So there's a whole bunch of games listed here. Dig Dig Dino, Shadowgate, Fulcrum Defender, Chance's Lucky Escape, The Whiteout, Tiny Turnip, Wheel Sprung, a bunch of games that look phenomenal. There's very little details on these ones if you're watching on YouTube that I'm kind of hovering over these smaller
keeping them
tiles.
a secret.
But they did reveal more information about these 4 big ones here. Dig Dig Dino, Shadowgate, Fulcrum, and I can't, this one doesn't have
those are the first 4 coming out the gate.
Taria and Como. And the one I want to highlight is because it's from the makers of FTL, Faster Than Light, and Into the Breach. So if you are a fan,
classics.
If you're a fan of Subset Games who made Into the Breach or FTL, their next game can only be played on the Playdate. So if you're a fan of Subset Games and what they make, you got to get a Playdate if you want to play their next game.
You have to.
Fulcrum Defender.
And this is not like no, like that game is never leaving this handheld. It can't. You cannot. Just off of the strength of, needing, probably very likely it needing the crank alone, and the way that it's been developed, because it's these games are technically 1-bit. So they'd have to do a heck of a leg lift they'd have to basically remake it in order to put it somewhere else. And a lot of places they're not going to be doing that. So
or make an emulator, essentially. They'd have to like make some weird emulator somehow for like another console, and it would be so much trouble.
Let's just say that there's a 98% chance that you will not be able to play these games anywhere else than Playdate. So,
but yeah, it's just crazy to see like a bigger developer making something for Playdate. That's so cool. I mean, they're not huge. It's not like freaking EA, but still, like FTL is very popular. Into the Breach is extremely popular. Like it's crazy to be like, oh wow, these are like big indie games that now like a big indie developer making something for Playdate. It's super, because a lot of the other stuff has been smaller indie developers, kind of like maybe like not a lot of lesser known developers and stuff. So this is cool to see more people coming.
Lucas Pope, he did the Return to the Obra Dinn, and then he did Mars After Midnight. Yes, also rips. Did a whole stream on that on the Super Gamer Boys channel.
Yeah,
that game is awesome.
Check that VOD out. We got it. But yeah, such a phenomenal system. Dig Dig Dino looks great. So Dig Dig Dino,
it looks so cool. I can't wait to play that one.
Sorry, I realized I didn't even talk about Fulcrum Defender. Find your optimal build and perfect your aiming skills to survive in this crank-powered arcade action game. At its core, Fulcrum Defender is straightforward. Shapes advance toward the center of the screen. You must aim and fire a turret to keep them at bay. If too many reach the center, game over. Very simple concept, but like the execution looks phenomenal, and it's gonna feel great with the freaking crank. It always feels so good. Let's get back over to Dig Dig Dino. Dig Dig Dino looks so good. It's a game about digging for dinosaur bones and other treasure. Joining a crew of paleontologists at a new dig site, shovel your way down to many incredible discoveries, piece together whole dino skeletons, and analyze strange artifacts, uncovering lost secrets buried deep underground, solve coins and treasure to build an arsenal of digging tools, then upgrade them to go deeper. I love how there's like a little like disclaimer, like it's in like a separate little box, and it says this game is perfect to play while watching TV. No time pressure, no quick reflexes needed. I'm all about that. That sounds great.
I love it that there's games for all levels of accessibility.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. This Taria and Como game like looks great. It's like a platformer. It's a physics-based puzzle platformer where movement is built around swinging instead of jumping. Play as Taria, a young girl with a prosthetic leg, as she rescues her little sister Como in the midst of a world that constantly underestimates her. Separated after a disaster, Taria wakes up in a hospital where she's forced to use an approved prosthetic that limits her mobility. Undeterred, she takes control of her own fate, using ingenuity and sheer determination to escape and find her sister. Master the art of the swing, solve puzzles, uncover corruption, and banter with a meddling health bot as you explore a richly detailed pixel world with an emotional story, comic panel cutscenes, and a unique perspective on disability and resilience. Like, this is so good. Like, these are... People are like, oh, Playdate, there's this like fun little like one-off like silly experiences or whatever, like nothing serious. But then like there's this game, like no, this is like a full-fledged platformer with like a legit story, everything. Like,
dude,
I don't know.
I guess this is the last time I get to stand on my...
I just want to say they're making real games for Playdate. Like these aren't this fun little like arcadey like, oh, play for like 5 minutes and then you move on. Like this is a real game.
Mm-hmm. And so there definitely are. That's the best thing about this, and I guess this is the last time for a while that I get to stand on my indie soapbox, but like you really do get the full gamut of games with Playdate. There are meaty RPGs that you can play on there, and then there's games less like Root Beer, where you're literally just trying to use the crank to fill up root beer in the mug without making it spill over. And they are both equally interesting and rewarding and creative experiences. I would argue that some of the most creative stuff is going on the Playdate, and not very many people are noticing, unfortunately. But that's because restraint, it breeds creativity. And because of the Playdate's, quote unquote, limited scope, it's been forcing a lot of developers to come up with creative solutions or creative ideas for what they would want to put on the platform. And there are just so many different kinds of games and concepts and stuff like that for games on Playdate that like it's so cool to see how many people interpret creativity and interpret game development or ideas and in so many different ways, but all of them can be valid and all of them can be, fulfilling and fun. And
yeah,
the fact that you can only get that here, I think this handheld and this, and Panic and this community, I think are very special. They're very, close knit. And a lot of these developers who wouldn't get a lot of time, in the sun, otherwise or in other spaces are getting to have their shine. When Panic does spotlights and things like that, and a lot of them are smaller developers or they're marginalized, in groups that don't normally get the shine that they deserve. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to season 2, but there's also a lot of games that are already on catalog, which is the App Store basically on the Playdate device. There's a lot of games that are not in either season, but they are definitely worth a look. There is a bustling very well cared for and revered game development community on Playdate. And I couldn't be more proud to support it and to be, I guess, part of it. And I can't wait to see, not only what season 2 has in store, but where this whole platform goes from here. Because I know that this is just the foundation of what this is going to be when it, reaches the level of saturation that it should be and that it deserves to be seen. So I say all that to say, play more indies in general. And if you like creativity, and if you're searching for creativity that you're not finding in the major game space because it's all like free to play, live service, subscriptions, or full of microtransactions, things of that nature. If you're looking for creativity, independent games in general are where you're going to find that. And a lot of them are where you're going to find it on Playdate too. So not only in like Steam or, wherever else, of course, look there, because that's where a lot of people are, but also don't discourage or don't disparage, smaller communities like Playdate, because you're going to find just as creative experiences there too. So play more indies wherever they are.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, I forgot to mention there's one other game that they gave some details on, and it looks so freaking good. It's called Shadowgate PD.
Yes, that's a remake.
Classic point and click adventure Shadowgate reimagined with all new music, art, and functionality, taking the best of the previous versions and creating a unique remake for Playdate. Yeah, originally it was originally a Mac Venture series. It went on to be celebrated on NES, Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64. I am so looking forward to that. Like point and click, just like kind of choose your own adventure kind of thing. Looks so stinking good. Looks so good. Go play more indies. Go support Playdate. They make good stuff. And all the developers over there. So good. All right. Well, that is it for our nerdy nudes. Now it would normally be time for our ad break. But here's the deal. That's the last episode. You're probably not going to support us on Patreon unless you want to listen to the last couple episodes of Super Later Boys, which we are going to have one more. We haven't recorded it yet. We're going to release another Super Later Boys episode 10-2. That'll be coming out probably in the next week or two, hopefully, if we can figure out a recording time. But I guess you can support us on sgbstore.com. I'm planning on just letting that run. So if you want to get your Summer Gamer Boys gear, it's still there. I wore my swim trunks. I need to raid that. I need to raid the closet from the staff side, and I need you to send me some things. I'm just all right. Sounds good. Throwing that out there. I wore my Summer Gamer Boys swim trunks all weekend long. We were in Laguna Beach with some friends, and let me tell you, they're comfy. They work good. They covered the parts that they need to cover. So. I feel like I would hope. I feel like that's all you need from swim trunks, right? Make sure you're covered and they stay on. They're comfortable. They're all of the above. So, so go to sgbstore.com. You can buy some sweet merch over there. I even have, I think we have so the version that's on our store now is different from this. This was like OG merch, but this is still one of my favorites. Just the gray crew neck. I don't know. There's just something so classic about like the heather gray. Like it reminds me of like a gym uniform or something, like something you'd wear. I was just thinking that with like this, like our OG Super Game Boys logo, like with the color, because now it's just white or purple usually or black. Yeah, but with like the original like Nintendo coloring, it reminds me of like this like retro like Nintendo Game Boy, something like that, which is partly why we didn't get sued. Partly why we changed the look a little bit, so it wasn't quite so on the nose. That's another reason we're shutting down the show. You guys didn't know it, but we got a cease. No, just kidding. We got a cease and desist. We did not. They'll never catch us, because we're gone now. Jokes on them. They're gonna like rewind time and come back and no, please. Just take us for all we got, which isn't much, honestly. I was gonna say, which ain't a lot, but it ain't a lot. It ain't a lot. We haven't got that $100,000 in cash yet, so they're gonna get a couple game consoles, and that's about it. There you go. Take my old crappy car. So yeah, here's the ad. Go to sgbstore.com. Support us on Patreon if you're interested in getting that last episode of Super Later Boys. But otherwise, I guess here's a PSA to probably cancel your subscription unless you want to check out some old stuff. And then what else? Shout out to Kojima01 because he subscribed to our channel just a few moments ago. And you don't have to use your sub on us because, we're not going to be around as much anymore. Although we do appreciate Kojima for doing that. Thank you so much. But if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch account. Once you link it to your Twitch account, you get free Prime Gaming subscription you can use each every month. Make sure to use this somewhere. If you're not using it on us, make sure to use it on anyone else, someone else, especially someone who's making cool stuff because it gives them a bunch of support, gives you ad-free viewing for them. You can use their emotes, all the stuff, all the perks you'd get from paying money, you get for free. So what are you doing? What are you even doing here? So use that Prime Gaming subscription. You can use it on us, but honestly, go throw it to someone else. It'd be great. And thank you so much to everyone who supported us that way through the years. We appreciate it so incredibly much. Again, along like I said at the beginning of the show with the Patreon stuff, how we literally couldn't do the show without all the Patreon supporters. Same thing, ditto for that because, the financial help has helped incredibly with keeping the lights on, buying equipment, buying games, making cool stuff for you folks. So thank you all so much for that. And with that, again, this isn't a real ad. I'm not gonna play the music or anything. We're just gonna. You know what? Sorry, Patreon people. You gotta listen to this.
On over.
Patreon people, you gotta listen to the ad, quote unquote ad, but that's what we're gonna do. And now it's time for the final segment of the show here, for the final time. Adrian.
Yes, sir.
For the last time in a long time, I get to ask you. I have the honor and privilege of asking you this question. What you playing?
You know what's going to be crazy before I start?
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this right on the cusp of a new generation. We won't get a chance to talk about Mario Kart or Donkey Kong
Death Stranding 2.
Death Stranding 2.
Which isn't a new generation, but
no, it's not. But it's a huge, it's a game that's a big deal to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally. I've thought about that. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? But you know what? At the same time, maybe it's the best timing. We can just enjoy this new generation.
You know what I mean? As normies, maybe we can just be consumers for once. Just be players.
We've always been players, Adrian.
Oh, please. That goes without saying. So, quick update for anybody who hasn't heard, which is probably most of you. I was at the right place at the right time and have recently acquired an Xbox Series X for the low price of $250, which nowadays is less than half of the price that it is with tariffs. So I would have been a maniac to not take that deal, which I did, and got me a great condition Series X. I just want to say for the record, I missed having that thing. It is my favorite design I think the only one that might come close is the One X. But as far as Xbox designs, it is my favorite Xbox design by a mile. I love the way that, the minimalism is used. I love that it just looks like a monolith from another planet that's here to it's like screaming, I am a gateway for you to go to Xbox universes. Are you coming or not? And it's whisper quiet. I can push that thing to push out 4K games or 120 frames a second. And I have to go up to it and put my ear to it in order to hear it. And even then it just sounds like a little bit of air passing through. It is eerily quiet.
So okay.
But I say all that to say, of course, I had to put it through its paces to make sure that it worked. And it does very well. And I did that with 2 titles that I have.
What's up with the balloons? What's up with the balloons?
Because I put up 2 and it looks like peace.
I forget the Mac.
Yeah. I did it with two titles that I had my eye on for a while, and I was like, man, I never thought I was going to have the chance to do it. But the first one is South of Midnight, which is the new Compulsion Games game.
Yes.
Let me tell you, that game is absolutely stunning. Really? It is so good looking, and so far I am very interested to see where the story goes. I really like the characters, and I really like the setting. Yeah. The Deep South, the magical Deep South. Yeah, I don't know why this game isn't getting more eyes on it. I mean, I know why, because I know gamers, but
yeah,
at large, it's interesting that Xbox is not pushing this game as hard as they could be. But I've only played maybe an hour, which is like the first chapter of it. Okay. But I definitely would like to keep going and see how this is going to play out. So shout out to that game. It is, as of right now, still as good as I would have hoped for it to be. So I did that one, and then I switched over to Obsidian's Avowed. Ooh. Which is also one that I have my eye on. Also, insanely gorgeous. The landscapes in that game, I've been taking screenshots like crazy because they look that good.
Dang.
And I really like, I like the combat a lot. It kind of feels like it's a mix between Bethesda combat, but it's also active at the same time. Like you can dodge, and I don't know. It just feels like you can be fluid and move out of the way for attacks, and it feels like you're actually dodging. And the combat feels fast and fluid if you want it to be. There's different, classes that you can do, right? Like you can have a heavy weapon. You could be a spell slinger. You can be a sword, you can swing a sword, whatever, or you can do archery, whatever. Okay. But all of them feel like valid styles of combat. And it feels like your classic, swords and spells game.
Okay.
And it's Obsidian, so I know that the story is going to be good, right? The dialogue is going to be good because that's where they shine a lot. Same deal. I've only probably put about maybe an hour or so into that one as well. And I got to the starting town. So they do like a little starting quest to get you kind of familiar with the game, and then they drop you at the edge of a town to go in and explore and actually start the game.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But both of those games, I am very intrigued to see where they go. And yeah, so that's 2 for 2 for Xbox games, and I still have Indiana Jones to check out. So
yeah,
you know what? Contrary to popular belief, I think Xbox might have games.
Okay.
And I got that, and I still have Doom. So Xbox might have some games. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. All right. Just took a minute,
that's what I've been up to. Mr. Morlang, what have you been playing?
Hooey. Man. Well, I've talked about it in previous episodes and even earlier this show. Breath of the Wild, we're still going through that. Having a blast. It's just such a joy doing that with them and having that connection with my boys, and like seeing the wonder and excitement in their eyes when we get to like different things that happen through that game. Like,
did the intro hit them like it hit us?
Oh,
when you run out for the first time?
100%. Like they were like so excited, like whoa, like they're just like in awe of like just the everywhere. And like when I told them too, like as it's happening, I'm like, you can go to all those places, you can go wherever you want. They're like, wow, like they're just like, how is this possible? I
think that'll hit me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That first just the big like wide pan across like the entire landscape,
just with the knowledge that you can go anywhere and do oh man, incredible. So good.
So So yeah, I don't know. That just continues to be a highlight whenever I get to sit down and play through that with them. And again, like I said, like Shepard, like figuring out the puzzles and stuff like that has been so cool. Like we're getting to different areas, and like we got to what's her name's workshop, the lab up on the hill, and like we had to get the blue flame up to her workshop so that way.
Oh, Pura.
Pura. So we're like, all right, how are we gonna do it? Like the torches are gonna burn out. It started raining or whatever, and like all this stuff, and so it was just like a fun little like. Yeah, little puzzle solving with with Shepard to figure out like, all right, well, we can use a bow and arrow and shoot, use a flaming arrow and shoot it from this lantern to this one, and then this one we can use a torch, and this one we can use this, and it was such a joy to like puzzle solve and play these games together with my kids. So loving that still. I think the only other thing I've played, it's not a video game, based off a video game. And that is Elden Ring, the board game. So I had kickstarted this. Oh, I saw that you got this. So I had kickstarted it a few years ago, and it came in a couple months ago, and I've been sitting on it. Haven't had a chance to play it. And it's a beefy box. Like this thing's huge. Almost too big. Like when it showed up, it came in 2 boxes, 2 big cardboard boxes. And then I opened those up, and there was a bunch more big boxes inside each of those boxes. I'm like, oh no, what have I done? Like, I don't have any place to store this. I don't have a game closet to put this. Like, where am I going to? So for a while, just sat at the foot of our bed until Trudy's like, you have to move it because I keep tripping over it. It's so big. It takes up the walkway. I'm going
to choke you if you don't figure something out.
But I finally had a chance this past weekend. I took it to Laguna Beach with our friends, and he's big into board games. And we sat down. It was just last night, actually. We stayed up late. And after the ladies went to bed and played a couple of hours of the game, basically like the intro section. And let me tell you, it is so fun. It's all the feeling of Elden Ring, but in a board game. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so cool. Like you have your little board. You can pick your character. I played the samurai. He's playing the astrologer. And you have like different abilities. You have quests you can do to upgrade the different things. So the game starts with like a narrative section. So you actually like read from a book, and oh man, the copy in there is so phenomenal. Like I'm reading this, I'm like, oh man, like I can visualize all of this. Like it's so good. It's like describing exactly the step-by-step through the dungeon as you're going through, and it's a choose your own adventure when you do the narrative section. So it's like, all right, if you choose this, go to section 6. If you choose this, go to section 14 or whatever, and you flip to that part of the book that you choose and then read the next part. Absolutely phenomenal. And then you go from that to an exploration section where you build out the map, and from the map, it looks just like the map that you get, like these little hexagon tiles, but it's like in the style of the map from the game, so it's like, and it has like little sites of grace and like little resources and stuff like that, enemies you come across that you can fight and stuff like that in the overworld. And then from there you can stumble upon encounters where you do combat, and from there it's like a third section of the game. So the narrative is all like kind of like everything's that you're kind of just imagining it and going through it. Exploration, you use the board, and then you go to combat and you actually flip open an encounter book, and it has like a grid. Each page has like different, like, all right, pull these enemy characters out, and there's like a grid on the page, and you actually like fight in this textbook essentially. Like there's like a whole like battle grid system within this book. So it's literally like 3 games in one. It's like a choose your own adventure, then like an exploration game, and then like combat. It's so cool. It's combat is done using like special abilities that you have in your combat deck and using attributes to like pay for those things. Such a well thought out game, and all along the way having the difficulty of like an actual Elden Ring game. Granted, it was a little easy because it was just the intro, but we definitely came close to dying. It was close. Let's just say that. It was like, all right, cool. Like, we beat it, but I was down to 1 HP, it had me worried. I'm like, this is the intro. I got to at least get through this.
Then it sounds accurate, actually.
But oh man, yeah.
Now
it was
good. Are FromSoft involved in this, or is it somebody who just got the license to, make their game with Elden Ring on top?
So it's made by Steamforged Games, which is well known for doing licensed board games. Like I think they're the ones who did like the Horizon Zero Dawn game, the Resident Evil game, the most licensed like video game version of board games they've made. I think they made a Fallout tabletop game, like similar to like Warhammer, but with Fallout characters, so it's like a skirmish fighting game kind of thing. And so it's Steamforged Games. I don't know how involved From Software was. I'm sure they're involved to a certain extent to just make sure,
check lore,
at least staying close to that kind of thing. Because like I said, like in the narrative book, there's like a narrative textbook with all the choose your own adventure stuff. Like I assume that was probably read over by someone to make sure like, okay, is this all lore accurate or even world accurate, like as far as like the environment that we're dealing with and stuff. So yeah, it's just so well done. So it has the feel of an Elden Ring game, the difficulty of an Elden Ring game, and again, like the flavor text and the narrative sections is so good. I'm loving it. We haven't played a ton, but it's designed to, so when you go into the box game, it's kind of like a legacy type game, I think they call it, where there's 50 hours of gameplay, 50 plus hours of gameplay in this box. And the idea is like you start and playing and like continue to play, and you take this character all the way through until you die, basically, and then you would start all the way from the beginning. But there's like a vault of cards that you're not even allowed to touch unless like a book or another card or something throughout the game allows you to okay, now flip through the vault and find card V0, V39 or whatever, and then it's like, oh, you unlock the special item, or oh, the secret quest or whatever. So it's a game that's designed to like to be played over weeks and months. It's similar. So my buddy who I was playing it with, he's big into board games, like I was saying. He's played like Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, like those types of games. He says it's very similar to that kind of vibe, where it's like, no, it's not like something you just sit down once and play with some buddies. This is like almost like a D&D campaign. Like you play through it and you're going through this campaign for weeks, months, for a long time to get through all of this content. So yeah, I'm super stoked about to continue to play that. So that's the other game I've been playing. Just played this weekend, and I am excited for more of that. So
hopefully by this, if we come back in some time, you'll be done with it, or you can be like, actually, I haven't left the first area.
Dude, they already have. So part of the Kickstarter too, like they made 3 expansions to the base game and a prequel game and a sequel game. So basically there's like 5 expansions for this game already. Like
what about Night Rain?
They haven't done a Night Rain yet. But okay. I mean, I could. Who knows? I mean, well, this game it's up to 4 players. So this board game is already kind of cooperative based. So they've basically baked Night Rain into the game before Night Rain was even a thing. So yeah, very cool, very cool. But yeah, so we're just doing 2-player, but you can do up to 4 players. I think that's kind of cool. 4 buds going around taking out all the bosses. But in the miniatures, I think the best part about it is it comes with like 100 miniatures. So you're not just playing with like, it's not just like, oh, here's a picture of it, or here's like a little like cardboard token. Like the boss, we obviously haven't gotten the boss, that's end game stuff, but the boss mini is literally like 6 inches tall. Like it is so massive. I am so stoked to get to the end. So it gets to, what's the Grafted King? He has a name. Does he have another name?
Oh, or is that just his Margit?
Name? Margit, yeah. So the board game expansion we're playing ends at Margit. So, and his mini is just spectacular. I want to paint it. I was like, this would be so fun to paint because the detail in the miniature is gorgeous. Like it has to be a straight 3D model from the game, I'm assuming, and then they just made it into like a 3D print. It is so sick. But yep, good stuff. Go check out Elden Ring, the board game. It's available. I think at this point it's only available on Steamforged Games, but I think it's eventually going to be available like in your regular game stores and stuff too. Pretty cool.
Also check out Elden Ring in general. It is an incredible game.
Elden Ring's phenomenal. Before I was playing the board game, I started dipping my toes into the on my Steam Deck again. What was that, like a month or 2 ago? I started playing a little Zelda, so I'm always down.
I thought about picking it up on Switch, but then I'm also like, well, Duskbloods is coming too, so we'll see.
Duskbloods. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
so good.
Console exclusive. Actually, no, not even console exclusive. Like literally Switch 2 exclusive. Like it's not coming to PC. I don't think.
No. It's Switch. Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah, they paid for that development. So
crazy.
Yep.
All right. Well, Adrian, it's that time.
Now, I want to say. See, normally I would do this, but I think as the show's, creator, I think it's only right that you do the outro and take us out.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, let me do this last housekeeping here. And then great. You could have told me beforehand. I could have had something prepared. I got to do this all off the cuff here.
No, it's better off the cuff. This is from the heart.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this outro here.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, you can find, if you're not catching this live, this will be going out on YouTube and podcast apps around the world. Go check it out, youtube.com/supergamerboys, and podcast apps, Spotify, Apple, wherever you can find podcasts. Just search for Super Gamer Boys. You'll find us around there. Find about 7 years worth of content as from this show, from Super Gamer Book Club. 2 seasons of that. We got Super Dungeon Boys. We got lots of stuff. So even though we're going away, we'll always be around. So go check that stuff out. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, you can also support us going to sgbstore.com. I'm planning on just keeping that up indefinitely because heck, if my SGB stuff wears out, I got to get some new stuff. So if I'm dipping in there, you guys can dip in there. Why not? So if your hoodie wears out, go get a new one. Or if you don't have one, go check it out. I love the sweatshirts over there. Sipping some Slow and Low Rock and Rye out of my Summer Gamer Boys cup.
Oh, my hot toddy is gone already. I've
refilled a couple times. This
is my second cup. I'm feeling very nostalgic right now. So.
Yeah. So yeah. Don't have no fear. SGB merch will be around as long as our merch provider exists, I guess. Shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music for all these years. They are the frickin' best, and they deserve all the support, all the love. So please go over to Spotify, Apple Music. Click on the links that are in the show description on any of our episodes, YouTube, podcast app. Check it out. Their links are there. Go find them. Go show them some love. They make some great tunes. What you've been listening to all episode long. I did a hodgepodge of everything. I mixed all of their stuff together in one final playlist. And
it's a market of music.
The market of music playlist. Oh, man. You can find us during the week. I was going to say supergamerboys.com, but only Ranger will find any solace there using our form submission.
You can find Ranger.
You can find Ranger over at our contact us page on our website. Twitter, Instagram. He's not here. Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. You never know. We might throw a post up here and there, surprise you, do a little surprise stream. So might be worth following just in case. Does Training 2 is coming up soon.
I said, let's all hold hands.
What's that?
I said, Sir Prince, I said, let's all hold hands.
Oh, no. The whole chat's holding hands right now. Oh, my gosh. Love it. You can find us, and more importantly here, I guess, you can find us over at Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere, including the Discord, where we still will be and will still remain up. At Homeboy. Don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, Discord's still around. sgb.com/ or supergamerboys.com/Discord will get you that link. Go join it. We're not going to shut that down. So we're going to be talking games, movies, shows, whatever the heck you want to talk about, honestly.
We have to,
because we ain't got this. So we'll still be around. We'll still be chatting. All right. Well, this is it. This is normally where I ask Adrian to end it, but he's making me end it. I think he's trying to get some tears out of me.
It's only right. I got bets. I'm just kidding.
All right. So for 7 years, I've been working on this show. Dang it.
Yes, we got him. We got him. Yeah. Come on,
this
big fella.
This is basically another kid to me, you know? Like, my oldest is 7 years old, so...
Take your time. Come on. Find it.
Thank you all for the love and support over the years. Started out recording in my office at work with JJ, not knowing how to even speak at all. Do not listen to those first episodes. I was extremely awkward and had no idea what I was doing. And JJ was just trying to make jokes all the time. It was pretty horrendous. But it was a good time. And to think that we started there. And here we are with, 280 episodes of this show plus 100 other episodes of all the other shows we've done. Who knows? I don't know. That's not an exact number. It's a round estimation there, but
it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff over the years that in any other instance I wouldn't have had the opportunity to make. So I appreciate all the love and support from everyone. Financial support from guests who have been on the show. We got Ray in the chat here. We've got a lot of other people. Man, JJ hosting, Zetch hosting, Adrian, you coming on about 4 years ago. It's been a wild ride. And it's been an incredible opportunity. I love this community. Love these friends I've made. We've made friends with people all over the world, which is it just blows my mind that I've been able to do that. So thank you to everyone. And without further ado, we are the super.
Hold on.
Dang it!
I needed you to go.
Okay.
So I could go.
So you do want to say something? I thought you were just making me do the whole thing. Okay.
Oh, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. But I felt like it was only right, for you to go first. But yeah, man. I am so grateful for this show. But I am more grateful that it it was the catalyst for us to meet and to become as good friends as we are.
You were there at the inception of this show.
Yeah,
we met before this show even existed. We met Kind of Funny Live 3 in San Francisco. We both happened to sit at a picnic table eating lunch, and we're like, "Hey, do you have any? Is it fine if I sit here?" Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. We just kind of sat together, met, chatted, played some Mario Kart. Played some Mario Kart on Switch. Chatted about maybe doing a video game podcast one day. Rode in your car. Crazy that I met you all those years ago at that, and then
here we are, hundreds of episodes later. No, I just wanted to say that I am incredibly grateful, not only to have done the show. In my everyday life, I don't have very many people at all that I'm able to talk shop about something that is so core to me as a person. So I take this I take it very seriously, and I mean that as in, like, this is a luxury that I don't have and that I probably will not have again, unless we decide to come back and to do this again. So I wanted to say that I'm grateful for not only, you and I becoming as good of friends as we are, but for everyone who has, come by, or that I've been able to meet, or that I've been able to become friends with through the show, the connections that we've made throughout the years, the fact that we got companies as big as like Panic, looking at our stuff and featuring us. These are things that I'd never thought that I would have been able to do, in life in general, right? I always thought I was going to be somebody who, would just be enjoying things from the sidelines, and you offering for me to come on the show was an opportunity that I did not take for granted ever. And I always wanted to come on, and I always wanted to do my best, because I care about this, and I care about you, and I care about everybody here. And I think that everybody here, it's all so important to me, and I wouldn't trade a second of anything that we've done here, for anything. So this is such a great opportunity, and I just wanted to thank you for bringing me along on this journey. And just know if you ever wanted to spin things back up in the future, I'm a call away, but I'm also generally a call away too. So, and I don't foresee us, having to do anything like that. But
we're like this now. We're like this.
Oh,
just because the show's ending.
Are you kidding?
We're not.
Are you kidding? We're at the hip
anywhere
at this point. But I'm genuinely grateful for the opportunity, for, like I said, for us to have met, and for us to be able to foster this community that hopefully gets to continue on. And, we all only become closer and stronger as time goes on. So, and to the chat, and to everybody who's here, and everybody who has been here, all our friends that have helped when they came on, or, who've come on to host, or come on to be part of streaming content, or when we played games. You are all so incredibly invaluable to us, not only as, parts of the community, but you've all come to be friends. And I mean that. And I am so grateful to have found like-minded people who like video games and like being cool people as much as you all are. So, it's just nothing but gratitude. So I just wanted to put that out there. I love you guys. Garrett, I love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Yeah. So, okay, now you can take us out.
All right. Well, it's your thing, so you start us off.
All right. Well, folks, for the last time, thank you all for watching the final episode of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As always, we thank you all for not only your support now, but over the past 7 years. Your word of mouth, watching, listening, sharing, buying merch, it's all allowed us to go for this long. And like I said, we couldn't have been more grateful for your support over the years. And should we meet again, I would hope that everybody who's here, or everybody who might show up in the Discord over time, that you guys will all be able to rally back, and maybe we'll pick this thing back up. But I don't foresee it even stopping before then. So this is just the end of the main podcast itself. The Discord's not going anywhere. So we're all still free to hang out there, play games there, do whatever. So just keep that in mind, right? Like, this is the only thing that's really kind of going out. Thank you all to all our Patreon producers, our sponsors, anybody that we've worked with over the years. It all has come to this, and it's all allowed us to do this. And I can't say thank you. We can't say thank you enough. So for what's the last time, we have been, and we will always be the Super Gamer Boys.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Yay, we did it. Wow.
Let's cut
Super
this.
Gamer Boys forever.
Cut this before I cry again.
You're all right, man. Let's go play some games, huh?
Let's do it.